Welcome everybody, I hope you're doing well. It's been a while on this channel since I've posted a video, but here I'm back, finally got some time to record. And today I'm gonna publish some general tips and opening strategies for the Spirit Vengeance as a building plague. First of all, you've got to pick red. Second of all, you are a late gamer. That's the most important thing about this spirit. You want to have the mindset that the more disease, the more blight on the board, the easier you're going to win the game. So that means you're never ever accepting the absolute late game where the last city matters. Never ever want to let a build happen. So that means you want to grow on other boards to not prevent the builds using disease and milk the fear, and yeah, more buildings for you equal, no, I should formulate in a different way. More buildings in disease lands equals more winning, basically. More fear, and fear equals fear is basically like a sort of victory point in Spirit Island. So yeah, as you can see, loads of fear and lots of offense, but I play the Spirit more in the fear direction, which is more fun in my opinion. Fear stands for fun. Yeah, so the second so not the second, but how I approach the openings is basically, it depends on the explore. So imagine it's Sands. Sands is one of the examples where you not have to, but you should go G3 turn 1. Why is that? The idea is you want to play Fiery Vengeance on the first turn, stopping a build. Makes sense. You've got a Destroyed Presence somewhere here. You can kill the Destroyed Presence to stop a build, which is amazing. The thing about Vengeance is your action economy is extremely, kind of limited. So skip and land with disease. Add disease for 2 energy. Push if disease is present. And kill a Destroyed Presence to stop a build. Yeah. So the alternative here is, if I'm playing multiplayer, give this out to another spirit. If this spirit has Destroyed Presence for some reason, I don't know why you should, like Volcano or something, but that makes no sense. So yeah, probably want to stop a build turn 1. If it would have been mountains here, we could G2 turn 1, but we have to G3, because our G2 is limited to buildings and blight only. So we're going to G3, and this miner here, let's go from bottom track. We get energy, we gain +1. This miner right here is going to turn the game for us, because we want to, it's probably this card here, we want to focus on either the left or the right innate. Mainly. Of course, it's in the late game you're going to hit both tier 1s and tier 2s pretty regularly, no matter which path you go. But if you max out one of these innates, you can deal some crazy damage. And of course crazy fear, which is what you want. So in this case we drafted an animal with an air, which is great for both innates actually. Yeah. And we can add disease, which is basically our, like, diseases. You can rate a vengeance game based on how much disease is on the board. So yeah, place 1 presence. Again, like in the case, if it would have been wetlands or mountains, you could G2 instead, because you are already in a land where you can stop the build. And yeah, but no matter what, you're going to play these 2 cards, because these 2 are not, like, are the only non-perfect elements you have, basically. So you want to keep these 2 for the next turn. And also these 2 cards are pretty useless on turn 1, so probably play these 2 cards. Alternative, you go top track or play this card and save a lot of energy, but that's up to you. Actually, Vengeance has a lot of potential to gain tons amounts of energy really early, because this top track is so busted. But yeah, okay. So fast phase, boom, 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 boom. This is how it works. You want to stop a build with this card. And don't worry, you're going to get enough Destroyed Presence to use this card regularly. The major issue with this card is it doesn't have the animal. And I tend to prefer the left innate, because the left innate favors the playstyle the fun playstyle where you let to die your presence in order to gain massive amounts of disease and keep your disease on the board. And I think the Right Innate is more like designed for the playstyle where you use disease to actually stop builds and keep the building count low. And yeah, because the left innate can scale infinitely basically, the right innate is fixed. Plus Blight, of course, because Blight counts as Badlands, which is amazing. So, but yeah, I think the left innate is more interesting to play. Alright, so then the invaders do their stuff, they build right here, they explore Wetlands, which is absolutely amazing. And then your slow phase. You can add a disease. The question is, where do you want to add the disease? Basically on this turn, like your turn 1 is almost always gonna look like this, unless you draft then a card that is... Actually, I could have played this card right here, but yeah, now it's late. Question is, where do you want to add the disease? You've got two options. First option is throw it into one of your lands that is ravaging and stop it next turn. The other option is throw it into a land where you're going to play Left Innate or Plague Burst next turn. You don't care about the Han. This is like, if there's this Thunder Speak on the board that wants to steal the Han, just let him. If there is no Dahan based spirit on the board, just let your Dahan die. No one cares. Just Dahan, just mushrooms, brown mushrooms. Yeah, so in this case I decide to throw the disease in my... I don't know. Let's throw it over here. Time pass. Now is another decision in the next turn, because you want to either G2 turn 1 and G3 turn 2, or the opposite way. If you get extremely lucky, you can maybe G2, G2 and go for a fuck ton of energy, but that's mostly not the case. Now you have to decide. G2 definitely, go bottom and bottom again, go for the right innate, or go bottom and top. I will decide for bottom and top, and throw some presents out. First of all, I want presents over here. That like for the normal human being, this might look absurd. Throwing your presence in a land where the buildings deal 6 damage. But this is how the spirit works. You've just gotta accept that. Do we need a sacred site for this? No, I don't think so. Let's actually throw 2 presents over here. So the thing with Vengeance is, you don't care about Han, you don't care about how many presents you've got on the board. The only thing you care about is how much Blight there is and how much disease there is. The more Blight, the more disease, the more damage. It's that simple. In later stages of the game, you can decide to go for majors, because you have a correct action economy, energy economy, of course. Here I would play these 2 cards, hit the left innate, and of course we're playing on low difficulty, as you might realize, but in this difficulty we can now throw a disease out and then push the town and the explorer, the slow, and yeah, I think you get the idea. So now the core rules of Vengeance in summary. You want to scale into late game God. You want to never remove disease, even on other boards. You want to focus on one of your nates, ideally the left one, because it's more fun. You want to alternate between G2 and G3 in the first 2 turns, and want to end up like this or like this. You want to acknowledge the fact that your top track is really strong, so you might opt for majors pretty early on actually, because your standard cards are weak as fuck. And weak as fuck, like Paper is pretty strong because Perfect Element, but this card is pretty overcosted mostly. It's a skip, so you've got to decide where you want to forget it, but this card is overcosted, this card is extremely awkward to use, this card is strong but needs disease, so yeah, I would probably keep these 2 and forget the rest. The next rule is that you want to jump on the other boards where the other spirits are blighting. So in this case here, you can see like I've basically got one presence left. I can place where I want it. And in this case, I would probably decide to throw it on another spirit's board, where the spirit takes blight, to throw more disease on the board, because you have an insane action economy in the late game. Once you start to hit these two tiers every turn, you're going to basically be able to wipe out 2 boards at the same time. And one very important rule, not rule, but law of vengeance is that if you play this, if you execute this playstyle of vengeance where you want to basically kill all your presence, it's going to happen sometimes, or due to bad events, that you're going to run out of presence. That you're literally going to run out of presence because all the blight kills your presence. As you can see. This might happen, and you don't want it to happen. So basically, no matter what you do, always leave 2 presence on the board, ideally. So other spirits don't blame you for, basically losing the game for the entire team. That is Vengeance as a Burning Plague, one of my favorite spirits. Ton of offense, ton of fear, some different builds. You can opt for going bottom track, spamming your innate out and doing crazy stuff. You can go top track, spamming out mages. These, basically all the special rules are absolutely iconic. It's a very skillful spirit, high skill ceiling and high skill floor in my opinion. Because if you give this spirit to a noob, you will basically create another board for the entire team to solve. Because, and yeah, one extra law of vengeance is never, ever pick this. This line of text doesn't exist. Basically, see your G3 as if it would just add a presence. Because if you add a disease, you might be thinking, oh yeah, disease can stop a build. No. Presence is, as you might have heard in my ranking the fun of spirits video, presence are the core balance of Spirit Island. Which is why this guy is busted, but I'm too far off topic now. Yeah, I hope this video helped you to understand the spirit, or at least understand how I approach the spirit in a fun way. Consider to leave a subscription if you want to, only if you want to. And yeah, share your requests in the comments below. And yeah, I hope you have a great day.